this place and this college accomplishes. So, first priority is to promote academic quality and program development to enhance access and workforce development. That's what we're all about. And if you think about getting the fall semester off, if you think about the CAMI programs that we've got, if you think about workforce development, we have got an awful lot of wonderful educational activities that is happening in both the credit and non-credit features of our house here at the college. Last night, I had a group of people come in, members of the community, to have Marg and Jody talk about our CAMI and our workforce development, to take them over to the sheet metal lab, because I think it's really, really important for people in the community to know what we do here and to know all the avenues of education that we provide at all stages of life. So our actions, we have 5 major actions in this priority. We've got to complete a 3-year program review and evaluation of certificate programs and associate degree programs. We've got to submit the 5th-year interim report to CIHE. We also have to implement the Second Chance Pell Program, and it is implemented, it is up and running, and that was done with yeoman's work in a short amount of time. So I want to give a shout out to Steve Fitton, to Marge Valentine, because they did an awful lot of work, as well as Kenny Briggs, to get the students processed, to get the financial aid going. You know, it's not easy when you get a mandate that comes out in May, and you got to have something up and running by the end of August. So let's give them a round of applause. We also had to implement the SNAP ET programs, and again, congratulations to Marge for getting that going. And then lastly, our collaboration with Electric Boat to identify and deliver workforce training as needed. Last night, I was at an event in London where I had an opportunity to talk about our collaboration, to talk about Three Rivers and what we do. And one of the big concerns that came up at that meeting last night was the fact that the Board of Regents is nixing the tuition increase that was proposed. And there were people in the room who felt very, very strongly that we cannot have our students take on more costs as they're trying to get an education. So that was heartwarming for me as the president to see that I got support in the community for that. Second priority, continue to support and champion student success. And that's what today's professional development is all about. It's all about student success. How do we get students enrolled? How do we get students graduated? How do we ensure that they make progress throughout their studies? So we're going to implement the Guided Pathways to Success pilot program that started with planning this spring and last fall. We're going to assess the effectiveness of TRCC's multiple measure placement process. Laura will be instrumental in that. We're going to administer the 2016 Sense Survey, which I think was done and completed, so we're making progress. We're also going to assess the success of the Concast program, which Ed Deere is passionate to his heart, and I'm really, really proud of the students that we work with. They are shining examples of what care and nurturing can do for them. And lastly, we're going to provide resources through the ILS circulation system, which will allow access to the 17 CSU libraries. So I want to shout out to Mildred Hodge and the library staff because they've been involved in that process throughout the spring, going to training. Third goal, priority, is to ensure responsible stewardship of administrative, financial, human services, marketing, information technology department resources. Lot there, folks. We want to develop a 3-year strategic plan, and I'm going to say more of that when I get done with the priorities. We want to maintain a balanced budget. Our financial health is really, really important given the economic condition of the state. We want to develop and launch a new comprehensive electronic college aligned strategic planning calendar. Many of you were involved with that over the summer, and what we really wanted to do is to get every committee meeting, everything on one comprehensive calendar. And so up in the President's Conference Room, you saw the stickies around the room. That has been done. It still needs some fine tinkering, but I think we've made tremendous progress with that. And lastly, we need to develop a comprehensive strategic marketing plan, including the web, social media, digital marketing campaign, with the goal to increase enrollment and improve the college image. And I want to give a shout out to Catherine Gaffney and those members of the faculty and staff who worked with her. We developed a website, a brand new website, with the help of MRW in 8 weeks. That is phenomenal. And if you look at the website, there's a total image. We used focus groups of high school students. They had a very different idea of what the website should look like, given where we are in our careers, but I think it was brilliant. And I think the photos really speak highly of the college, and also helping students to sort of identify, is this a place I think I could fit in with? Because students today are really, really savvy, and if you don't have technology that's up to date, that gives a contemporary image of what college looks like, I'm not so sure they want to give it a try. So again, thank you to all of you who came in and helped out over the summer. The next priority is to ensure the successful completion of new and ongoing facilities projects. I'm pleased to say that we have a second 21st century classroom. Please, it's great. I was thrilled to see it and be in it, and I hope the faculty who are using it are pleased with it, and I hope it's meeting your educational and learning needs for students. Secondly, we recarpeted the A-wing, which was in bad shape. It really needed it, and the carpeting has made a huge difference down there. More improvements are to come in time. We installed the electronic signage out here on the road, which is really great. Again, it's vivid, it's bright, you can see it at night. We want to alleviate the humidity problems. Arnie is working with the system office on that. We haven't solved them, but that is a priority. And then over the summer, we resurfaced the parking lot when some of you weren't here. So good actions happening. And then the last priority is to promote talent development and at all levels and increase the effectiveness and efficiency of processes in the academic division. We're implementing the new College Congress, a governance document that we worked on last year. A shout out to Will O'Hare, who was elected, I guess the president of the Congress or the chair of the Congress, who really is trying to get feedback from both faculty and staff. We know that the document probably is not perfect. The process probably has to be tweaked, but nevertheless, we will ensure that we get the process up and going, and then depending upon your feedback, we can tweak it and make it work so that it is effective here at the college. We also want to develop a focused faculty professional development program through the creation of a faculty leadership institute. I believe very, very strongly in leadership development, and I know here at the college we have some very seasoned faculty, but Jerry and I over the summer talked about the fact that I really believe we need to nourish and bring the junior faculty along so that when your time comes, you have the skills and the knowledge to take on the mantle of leadership from those who have gone before you. And that's really something that I really care deeply about, not only for the faculty, but also for the staff too. And we are going to look at ways to do professional development for staff to make it meaningful, to provide opportunities so that you learn and grow as professionals and not stagnate in your careers. And then we want to develop a more effective process in the relationship between the academic dean's office, the department chairs, and the curriculum committee. Jerry always says he doesn't want to be the person sitting at the top of the ladder making all the decisions. And so what we really want to do is we really want to have a shared governance process so that we've got information going down, going sideways, going up, so that all stakeholders are involved in the success of Three Rivers Community College. And that's really, really important. Communication is really vital. And so I know that Jerry is going to really be making that a priority this year. And lastly, we want to hold college-wide meetings on a regular basis to make sure that everybody is aware of what's happening at the college. I really believe that it's really important that not just one constituency know what's really happening, but really as a college community, we know what's really happening. We're going to make the presidential newsletter on a quarterly basis, and we're going to really highlight the impact of actions that are happening. And also Will O'Hare and I are meeting on a weekly, bi-weekly basis so that Will can make me aware of anything that's out in the community that I need to know, as well as to get feedback from him as to what people are thinking. So I think we've started off the year on a wonderful trajectory, and I think it's only going to get better as we go along. So I wanted to share those priorities. Now it's my great pleasure to introduce two people who have offered to work with the college this year. They are John Heller and Charlie Coiro. Okay, I'm going to introduce them. They have offered to work with us to update our strategic plan. They're going to tell you a little bit about themselves and about what they do. And I thought it would be really important for all of you to have a name and a face because they will share information about the process and also about what else they are going to provide for the Three Rivers community. So without further ado, gentlemen, please come forward.
Sure.
Thank you all very much.
Thanks so much, Mary Ellen. I just wanted to briefly introduce myself. I'm John Heller. I am the director of the Admiral James M. Loy Institute for Leadership at the Coast Guard Academy. I retired after 20 years of active duty in the Coast Guard in financial management and teaching on the faculty and staff there for a lot of years. I'm thrilled to be asked to come back here and help you all at the community college here in our New London County. My mother was the Dean of Community Services, so the non-credit granting arm that you all have here in Pittsburgh's community college. So I've spent a long time being inculcated with your mission in educating and training and preparing people for our workforce. So I'm really thrilled to be here. And Charlie and I are just really looking forward to engaging with you over the next couple of months to try to help you all get a sense of where you think the next opportunities are to lead this college to the next level for this next 5 years. And with that, I'll yield the balance of my time to the brains of our outfit. Charlie's done strategic planning for hundreds of Coast Guard units and nonprofits and other companies. So he's really got a great process that he's going to articulate just the broadest strokes to you. Charlie?
Hey, thank you, John. So it's really exciting. Like John said, I'm happy to be here. Anytime I get a chance to invest myself in another kind of organization, it's a great professional development opportunity for me. So I really look at this as a great opportunity to learn along with you about how we're going to do strategic planning here. I think it's genius what Mary Ellen's doing by combining your accreditation process with the strategic planning process. I think that's really a great way to do it, and the fact that it's going to be generated from those committees is really innovative. So I'm excited about that. That's going to be a learning opportunity for us as well. So like John said, I've been doing strategic planning for about 23 years. But my main job is professional development. John works with the cadets at the Coast Guard Academy. I work with the post-grad folks who are getting leadership training from us. So I'm excited about what Jerry told me about this Leadership Institute, what you folks are doing with professional development. So my background, John and I actually went to the academy together. So we graduated in 1989, and like a good academy grad, I married a girl from Connecticut. And when I got an opportunity to get stationed in Connecticut, she said, we're done moving. So I didn't retire from the Coast Guard. I got back to Connecticut and lucked into a civilian position over there. And I do a lot of strategic planning, a lot of professional development. And as far as strategic planning goes, how many folks have experience with strategic planning efforts? So yeah, you look around the room, it's at least 20% of the folks here. And that's wonderful. We'll tap into that. I've done it so much that I know that there's a common process you need to follow, and we can adapt that process. But really, the key point is, I just noticed it on your quotes up here, the first sentence of Frederick Douglass: if there is no struggle, there is no progress. And as Mark Twain once said, all plans eventually degenerate into work. So we're going to work to make some good plans to get everybody on the same page to kind of integrate all the great efforts that are going on here so that we don't, sometimes we call those things random acts of goodness if they're just initiatives that aren't tied to an overall plan. So we're going to try to make things more cohesive and integrated by bringing the committees together and sharing information and maybe cross-pollinating some of that information. So it's really going to be a powerful effort, and by August of 2017, I think you'll all be happy with the plan because you will have created it. The other thing we're going to do that's interesting is we're going to coordinate the planning effort with some professional development efforts. So we're going to try to teach you some of the tools and techniques, since John and I aren't going to be here all the time. So we're going to demonstrate those things, we're going to practice them, and then you can use them in your own sessions when we're not around. So we're going to try to do some professional development along that. One of the skills I've kind of perfected over the years is facilitation and collaboration. We teach a team leader facilitator course at the Leadership Development Center where I work, and that's a very popular offering because nobody does collaboration quite right. And we can always strive to get better at collaboration. So how you work within your committees is something we can assist with. So I think I gave you enough of my background. I've been here, we opened the Leadership Development Center in 1998, and I was there at the ribbon cutting. So I've been there, and that's when my wife told me we're done moving, and I've been at the Coast Guard Academy since 1998, and I'm looking forward to working with y'all. Anything to...
So just to close, I'll just add that since Charlie threw out Mark Twain and Frederick Douglass, I'll just add Jack Welch said that he gives us a little equation of E equals Q times A. So the effectiveness of your strategic planning efforts is a product of Q, the quality of the plan, times A, the cultural acceptance. And what he says is you have to spend as much time and effort into the cultural acceptance as you do into the plan. And that's where most efforts get thwarted or fail, is that you don't get that broad buy-in from all the stakeholders that are sitting in this room, that are attending our classes, and up at the Board of Regents. So we need that cultural acceptance, and that's one of the things that I think Charlie does so well in his process is really facilitate that inter-level and interdepartmental and inter-stakeholder dialogue that helps everybody get on the same page and own that plan instead of it being thrusted upon you. So that's, I think, one of the things that I look forward most to working with you all, and we yield the balance of our time.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much.
I just have two brief announcements, and then I'll invite D. Nice to come up. I sent out an email about a textbook survey, and to the faculty, I would really appreciate if you could respond to that survey. There's a real concern about the cost of textbooks that students are having to pay for and really wanting to do something at the system level. So that was a survey, I think that came out from the system office. And then the other thing that I want to say is all of you this week, I think, or at the end of last week, got in your mail the campaign for giving. So I just want to make a pledge to, or not a pledge, but a pitch, thank you, to make sure that you take a look at that. The statewide employees really support charitable giving across the state, and anything you can do to be supportive, to participate in the campaign would greatly be appreciated. So that's the last pitch I want to make. And the other thing that I want to say, and you'll hear more about this from Louise, but Louise and Ken Sod did yeoman's work to ensure that the college got a 2-year approval of our affirmative action plan. And I want to give them a shout out because when I came to the college, one of the first things I had to do was to go before the affirmative action committee and explain why our plan didn't get approved. So let's give them a round of applause. So without further ado, D. Nice.
Thank you, Mary Ellen, and thank all of you for helping. I think Frederick Douglass was thinking of me. There's no struggle. There is a real struggle when you're a brand new interim dean coming into a a new school, new campus, and a whole new set of players. So I think Frederick Douglass was thinking of interim deans that come in. But it's been a real pleasure to work with all of you for the past 6 months here, and welcome to the fall. It's 7 weeks unfolding for us in the fall semester. So I think we're off to a very good start. We are very, very busy at the institution, as you can see from all of those goals and objectives that we have for this year. And the faculty are really involved in that activity within the department and certainly throughout the college. So we're also have some new players with us this year in the faculty that have joined us, and I just want to introduce them if they are here today. John Jenna. John heads up our metal manufacturing program. He's the coordinator and also he's an instructor in that program. In our chemistry area, Vandana Basu. And in our nursing, it's almost as if we were wiped out by a thunderstorm at the end of the spring and in the summer. So we have a number of new nursing faculty joining us. Carol Emerthal. Zupan. Alan Zakowitz. And coming in to really help us was Christy Pendergast. So I think that concludes a number of new faculty that we had to join us. One of the activities that is occupying a lot of our time and very important time is our 5-year report on our New England accrediting body. And we have divided that up into 9 groups that each represents one of the 9 standards within the 5-year report. We're meeting, in fact, we started out in May 25th was the date that we first met as a organizing team to start that program and come up with a document, a very strong document. And we have set a date in early December of having that first draft from all of our committees that we can begin to go with. We have more than 30 of our faculty and staff that's working on our 5-year report. As you know, that 5-year report is somewhat a reflection of where we've been the last 5 years, what we have accomplished, and in relationship to those 9 standards, as well as where we're headed. And as our facilitators for our strategic plan indicates, we are taking those 9 committees and we are asking them to look forward to be part of our strategic plan update for 2017 through 2020. So we're going to get a double hit from those 30 plus faculty and staff that's working on that. Standard 1, which is really what the institution is all about. It sets our mission, our focus, our vision, and we will be surveying our faculty and our staff on that mission 1. That's always a common question when accreditors read or come to a campus is how are you doing with your mission? Where is the mission a hard piece of everything that you do? I also want to indicate that we have given out to the faculty all the information on our Board of Regents faculty awards. And we have 3 of those awards that we can compete for, and that would be our Excellence in Teaching, our Exceptional Scholarship, and an Adjunct or Part-Time Faculty Award. Heidi and Sam are heading up that committee to get those applications in, and our timeline is you have that now. You have November to really take a look at that application and determine whether you'd like to file an application for 1 or 2 of those, the Excellence in Teaching or Scholarly, and that will be due by December 1. And then the Systems Office in January, February will be considering those applications from all the institutions, and by April, May will be that announcement of the award. So let's make sure we have 2 winners at least coming out of Three Rivers. Finally, I would say that we have done a very good job, I think, with our new governance structure. When I first came here, I was sort of in that first 6 months overwhelmed looking at 12, 13 committees. And what in the world would we do with 12, 13 committees? If I had to meet with every one of them, I wouldn't have much else to do but be a committee participant. But Will and others have done a very good job of trying to work those 12, 13 committees into the 4 standing committees. And I think that we're very close to having all of that pretty much settled. So that's an amazing turnaround in the first month or so of the start of the fall semester. I think that probably covers the essentials I was asked to. Again, I'm a freshman here, so I'm learning every day. One of the things that Mary Ellen mentioned is that when you're a new kid on the block, you don't want to be at the top of the ladder making decisions. So my style is if you come to me for a decision, I more than likely will ask you, how would you handle that? And that helps develop what we truly want is a camaraderie, and we want a school of learners, both sitting out there in those chairs as well as the faculty that lead them. I'm very impressed with Three Rivers, and later on we're going to be moving into our Pathways program, but you all have done a great job of laying the groundwork for something that is changing throughout the United States, and that's with 1,100 community colleges in this country, and that's trying to make students successful, and you not always get the student that is ready to move through very quickly. So the Pathways program, to me, have all those ingredients to make our students successful, but there is a high degree of engagement between the faculty and the student in making them successful. And in a sense, when you make your student successful, you have been very successful.
Yes.
Have a great day, and I look forward to an exciting day, afternoon with our Pathways program.
So I just wanted to say, as the college's director of surveys, that that mission survey is actually on your table, so if you could do that today, this morning, and then just put those in a stack in the middle of the table. Also, there will be a survey for Professional Day that will go out electronically. Thanks.
Okay, I just want to give a brief update on the status of our budget. As you know, we're moving and planning as well as we can to provide the resources we need across campus. I want to thank Gail O'Neill for putting this together. There's a bottom line on our total operating budget, $34.3 million, and the revenues, appropriations, including the fringe benefits, $20 million, tuition and fees, $12 million, other mandatory fees, $850,000, and a one-time, non-built into the budget, funding for developmental education and tuition supplement of $642,000. With regard to expenditures, personnel and fringes accommodate or take up $28 million. Institutional financial aid, match and waivers, $1.9 million. Overhead expenditures, including our utilities, other costs that benefit the entire college, $1.3 million. We transferred to the system office $830,000, and that leaves a total of $2.3 million, or 7% of our budget, for all other expenses. Changes to the budget since the beginning of the fiscal year. We budgeted very conservatively for an 8% down in enrollment. We actually, thanks to the hard work of everyone campus-wide, realized a 1.3 for the fall. So our actual revenue over budget is roughly $436,000 at this point in the fiscal year. We also received this year an additional $440,000 in financial aid. Some reminders. Again, we sent out an email earlier this month, or the end of last month actually, was the annual report on campus safety and security. Our Clery report has been published. It's available on our website, actually our extranet site. A reminder to those users who have access to the DCL3, the privacy data, to complete the information security training if you haven't done so yet. Again, we apologize for any technical challenges that people encountered in doing that, but hopefully those challenges have been resolved. And just to highlight and remind folks to update the primary text field for the information in the MyComNet in order to receive weather alert messages when we encounter inclement weather and have to either delay opening or close the college for the day. If you have any questions on that, just get a hold of me. We can provide you that information. So that's it. Very quickly, anybody have any questions? Good. Next up is
Good morning, everyone. Megan. For those of you that don't know me, I know we have a number of new folks here on campus. My name is Betty Belarsion. I'm the Director of Institutional Advancement, and this is Megan LeCass. She is the Assistant Director of Institutional Advancement. Our offices are right upstairs in room C211. We are close to the President, so she can keep a close eye on us. Many of you have asked over time, well, what does your office do? And so I wanted to touch base on a few things that we support. Our role is to support the college, the faculty, the staff, and the students. And one of the ways that we do that, we have the Three Rivers College Foundation. They are a 501c3 nonprofit. We are governed and controlled. We have 19 volunteers that oversee the board of directors. We are the liaison. We are the primary contact to help guide the volunteers. Megan is going to show you our annual report that was recently published for 2015-16. We have copies over here if you'd like to take them. It's also available online. It's on the internet and the extranet. And it really highlights all of the work that we've done to support the college. We had a banner year for our scholarships, awarding over $325,000 in scholarships. And we really did work hard to increase our endowed funds. Those are permanently restricted funds, really to support the future of the college. So we increased our endowed funds. We also increased our temporary restricted funds, which are primarily the scholarships. And I'll go right into our scholarships. You can receive the scholarship application online, and we've actually been printing thousands of these up. Students now can start filling out the scholarship application. It's very simple. We have one application for them to fill out. We have dozens of volunteers that review the applications, so it's very easy. We send them out to all of the high schools. We have copies over here, and you can direct the students right to our website to fill out the scholarship application form. One of the other ways that we're working hard, and as Mariella mentioned, the state employee campaign, that is separate from the annual appeal that we do here at the college. Thank you, Sandy Dean, for coordinating the state employee campaign. And just to give a quick overview, those campaigns are typically governed by federations, United Ways, not just our local United Way, but United Ways across the state. So those dollars are not designated here. And that's one of our challenges, because we are really competing against very good organizations for charitable dollars. So our employees here are very supportive of our annual appeal and will be coming after the charitable campaign for our annual appeal. And many of the unrestricted dollars that we get come from the annual appeal, not only from the faculty and staff, but our donors. We are going to be launching an alumni relations program that Megan will be working on. We work very closely with donors to secure major gifts, as well as our major corporations. Our unrestricted funds are one of the ways that we really help support, outside of scholarships, program initiatives. And you can see that if you look through our annual report, all of the different ways that we support the college. So I'm going to have Megan go to the extranet, where you'll find our request for funds form. I sent an email out a few weeks ago, and I just wanted to explain what this form is all about. This is the form where you may say, you know, we really have a need, and because of the budget, state and federal funding, we're not getting that support. We really think that we maybe need new technology in our labs. We need support for our cultural and fine art program. You would fill this form out. The form gets approved by the dean. So once the dean approves the form comes to me. I then determine where do we have the funds, and it's my job to find a way to fund this initiative and this request. I then meet with the president, and if the president deems that this is a viable, it's an important request that's going to support the college, I then bring it to the Request for Funds Committee, which is comprised of about 8 volunteers from the board. My job, if the dean and the president approve this request, my job is to make sure that this request gets approved. Once the committee approves it, it goes to our entire board for approval. And I just want folks to know, please fill these out. We have so many great opportunities. We do have funding available, not just for scholarships, not just for program initiatives, but if you have questions on whether you think you have a viable request, please come see me. I'd be happy to help walk you through this. But we really are here to support the college. We're not just working hard, but we're working smart, because we need to support all of you and our students. And I think that we have a long way to go. I think that there are other ways we can help support the hard work that you're doing, and this is one way that we can help you. So all of the information, we do have hard copies over here. They're available on the website and the extranet. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Next up is Dean Stephen.
Okay, good morning, everybody. And to the new folks, I'm Steve Vinton. I'm in Student Services, and I'm going to give you a quick update on some of the things that we've been doing, a lot of which have already been mentioned. And we really have been busy this last year and really over the summer. So what you're looking at is something you've seen before, which is our fall head count, but this was the final number. This was the census, and we ended up being at 4245. As Mary Ellen mentioned, and our head count was 0.3% down. That is really incredible. I'll show you next year. Okay, you really can't see that very well. This is a report that we get every week. Okay, and I tried to make it a little bit bigger. I could have done it like a better enlargement, but just imagine this: the first green arrow at the top is Three Rivers, all right? And so those are all of our sister schools, all 12 of us lined up in columns. The next arrow down is our head count, all right? So the number that you saw on that previous graph showed our head count. And then the next arrow, the third arrow down at the bottom, is the minus 0.3%. And you heard the projections. We were projecting -8. I think we were kind of budgeting somewhere in the area of -5. And then incredibly, through really, again, I'll say it as you've heard before, it's the effort of the college. It's not just the EA wing. We have a lot of people helping out in so many different ways to get this done. And so we did it. And overall, we were number 2 in headcount as far as comparison to the previous year of all 12 community colleges. So I'm pretty proud of it. Really, that just doesn't happen by not doing anything. You have to really put a lot of effort into it. Our marketing efforts are fantastic. All the messaging that we sent out to the students, we e-blasted the heck out of them. We had a call center that got involved and made over 4,000 phone calls this year. I think that really added a lot to all of the other things that we did, because they got that personal voice in 4 separate campaigns. And that was just a service that we took advantage of through the state, and it really worked out for us. You might be wondering who number 1 is. It's all the way over to the left, and that was Nantucket. And they also did a fantastic job. And they're the only college in the system, and it's just good to have the information. That was a positive number. All right, so we were the best negative number in the system. And part of that is something that you've heard before. We're doing the Second Chance Pell program. We brought in about 100 inmates into our program at 2 different correctional institutions. As Nantucket brought in over 400 students, right? And that's huge because there were enrollments somewhere around 1,000. So when you're doing percentage comparisons, somewhere around 1,000 with 400, or us with about 4,250 and 100, the impact is much less, right? But overall, great job, everybody. Okay, so these are some of the fall highlights. In case you didn't see it, I put what I think is the best at the top. We just recently got this U.S. Department of Education recognition as one of the top 25 community colleges in the country serving low-income students. And we didn't apply for it. We didn't, try to put ourselves in the position for it. It just happened, all right? There's an algorithm that the Department of Education uses. It has about, probably 5 different factors. Once they're all, weighed out, it comes up, gives you the result. And Three Rivers was one of 2 community colleges in the state of Connecticut, but one of 25 in the nation to make that list. So congratulations to all. And I think you just have to imagine that it's based on doing great things for low-income students, and the results show themselves in the numbers. It's very interesting. We are also a 2017 military-friendly college. Some of you may have heard that before. I also wanted to let you know that our international population is growing at Three Rivers. We have 11 international students on campus this year. We had our first international day this year, and we hosted in that one, I think we had 7 or 8 students that made it to a nice host event where we got to kind of meet with them, introduce them to our environment, and they're all very excited to be here. Last year we only had, I think it was 6, and so Deb DeCarlo has done a great job with our international program, so thanks, Deb. And finally, down at the bottom, Mary Ellen mentioned it earlier, but we've got the Second Chance Pell program going on. That's a pretty big program too. It's a big deal. We're one of 69 colleges in the country that's participating in this program. So pat yourself on the back for that as well. It's pretty neat thing. Okay, we've got some other things here, just a few dates. Loan disbursement workshops are in progress. Ken Briggs and his folks are working on that right now. That goes through November. You can see that next week we've got an event, Job Interview Essentials, and we have an author coming in to meet with the students. If you have not participated in that before, you can. You can just sign up through Celeste Warner. It's a great event. It's a great way to mingle with students who are looking to improve themselves. They're seeking jobs, but they want to do what they can to prepare themselves for interviewing and job success. So that's next week. We also have a Veterans Fair that Sharon Lincoln has been working very hard on for about the last, I don't know how many months. She's got over 40 vendors that will show up next week on Thursday. And that's right there in the core lunch hour. I think it's something like 10 to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So great job, Sharon. And then we also have a transfer fair coming up that Kathleen Gray's been working on. We've got it covering 2 days. I think it's going to be especially big this year. We have a lot of folks coming in. Kathleen, thank you. And then this is really kind of an announcement out to outside the A-Wing. We're going to be doing a student worker training session the Friday after next. And so if you have a student worker that you want to get kind of the ABCs of what's expected of your student worker, please get a hold of Jackie Phillips. And they're all most welcome, but it'll be that Friday. But I think it'll help you in kind of squaring up what those expectations of a student worker are. So please contact Jackie if you have any questions about that. What else we got up here? Academic Advising Days, fantastic, kind of a new concept. It's going to be right here in the multi-purpose room. Christine is running with that and her group, and should be a great turnout. And that's going to involve not just folks from Student Services, but we'll have the academic division and some other folks from around the campus helping us out. But it's sort of a way of really focusing just on a couple of days and get the students in here to register. We want to help them get through the process through a one-stop shop. And finally, another date that everyone should be aware of, 11/15, spring graduation deadline, and that's being managed through Betty Williamson's shop. And if you have any questions about what the expectations are, see Betty, but she's following that very closely right now. The next thing I want to do This will be really quick because April was giving me the 10-minute flash sign before I started it. I think I'm somewhere around here now. We started, this is a kind of a special highlight, just to let you guys know what we've been up to on the workforce side. All right, and Mary Ellen mentioned a few things about that. I'll just take you on a quick picture journey. This was Grasso Tech back in February when the EWIB came to us and said, you need to start this program and you have 1 month to stand it up, get it going, and then plan 3 cohorts of outside machinist training. So we went to Grasso Tech, we were exploring, we found the site, and folks were really pushing us to get there, so that's where we ended up. And then fast forward to the first OSM graduation, which was on May 6th, and since then we've had 2 graduations. And this has been really an incredible program to get our students into the workforce in Eastern Connecticut. Everybody talks about it, about running a pipeline, a manufacturing pipeline, but we're really getting these students jobs, okay? In 5 weeks after completing this training, is March here? I just want to get my facts validated, but out of the 40, I think we said 45 got hired by, out of the 3 cohorts, right into the EB or manufacturing pipeline. So incredibly successful. And the ones that didn't get hired were probably the ones that didn't finish the program. That's all I can tell you. It's been so incredibly successful. And the students from the previous classes are coming back to participate with the new students. And they just do it on their own. So they really appreciate what we're doing for them through this program. All right, so this was our, we just started a new program after the outside machinist. Look at those. I mean, they look like, that Men at Work album, but they're really, they're having, put a hard hat on, right? They are having a good time, all right? They're enjoying what they're doing. This is the first welding cohort. It's a 10-week program, and it's just fantastic what's going on down there at Grasso Tech. And these folks, I assure you, will be employed shortly. Well, it was pretty quick. It was longer than I did it back at the workstation. But anyways, it's a pretty. That's the action they're doing. And so when you go there, if you want to go visit them on a daily basis, they've got them working in the labs. Okay, and it's about doing the job in 10 weeks, learning the skills. I don't know if there's any welders out there, but it's quite a skill to acquire. It's not an overnight kind of bookwork thing. There is a lot of bookwork, but there's a lot of hands-on. So this is sort of what I've been saying out loud to folks, but really it's about providing trade skills, teamwork, and jobs, and that's what we're doing at 3 Rivers. And I thought I'd just highlight real quick, not because I'm in a picture, but Senator Blumenthal was here earlier this week. He was here, it was on Tuesday. It's been so many things that happened this week, but Anna Gonzalez on the far right, and we got together with John Jenna and Mike Gentry, and we did a nice job giving them a kind of a tour of all of the different things going on here at campus too with the sheet metal manufacturing program. But he also came to visit our Veterans Oasis Center, which was really nice. And we're pretty sure we're going to get him back down into the welding lab. He's very interested in that. And we also have Joe Courtney, who's planning on visiting us down at the welding lab a week from Monday. And I know that class is just so looking forward to showing them what it takes to be a welder and what they're learning. They're very excited. And then finally, this is a public service announcement, which you all should be aware of. Mr. Ojakin will be here next week on Tuesday. And the theme is I Hear You. You all got an email from Mr. Ojakin probably about 2 months ago. And he's visiting all the campuses on different issues of social justice. You can see the topic here is a community discussion on civil discourse and a respectful debate. And all the panelists, Ed Deere will be our facilitator and our MC. And as I've seen so many of Ed's great work in the past, I'm sure this is going to be another great event at Three Rivers. And with that, thank you. Enjoy. And next up, my esteemed colleagues, Louise Suma and Ken Saad.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. You're paying attention. Thank you. Good morning. Thank you very much. Two things will be very brief. First of all, I would ask all of you to recognize my staff for the whole that they put in this past semester for onboarding all of our new employees, all of our part-timers. So if you would give them a round of applause. The second thing is, I have the honor of introducing to you our Affirmative Action Officer, Mr. Ken Saad. Ken Saad was actually Mr. Happy the day that he got the news that the Affirmative Action Plan was approved. You can laugh. Ken has a great sense of humor. Ken Saad is not new to Three Rivers. Actually, he came to us almost 10 years ago. He taught for us in the prisons. He taught personal finance. He has a finance and business administration background. He has a BS in business administration, and he has an MBA as well. He also has been working for many years at Tufts, doing analytical work for them, and we find that his skills mesh very nicely with the affirmative action efforts that he's been undertaking with a great deal of effort, and he enjoys his work, which is a real plus because he's really embedded with us in the HR area. So I'd like to turn it over to Ken. He has a few things he'd like to share with you. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm glad to be part of the team again. You heard the good news. We got a 2-year approval award, from the commission. Thank you for all your hard work. The diversity is an everyday effort from all of us. That's what it takes to get there. What you might not know is generally the commission hands out 1-year awards. Occasionally, they hand out a 2-year award. And it's handed out when the commission has faith in the institution and what they're doing, and it's an acknowledgement that we operate in good faith, we meet our requirements, and we're diverse. The report is available in Human Resources if you want to review it or if you have any questions. I'm available Monday, Tuesday, and Friday in Human Resources. By appointment works best. We'll eventually get a copy into the library. But I do have a request. Going forward, our next report is due in 2018. And the commission is very interested in student diversity. So if you have any effort or activity going on in those particular areas, if you could get it to me, I'd like to include all of our efforts and accomplishments in the 2018 report. And again, thank you for all your help.
Hi, good morning. I'm Catherine Gaffney. I'm the Director of Marketing and Public Relations here at Three Rivers. And As you all know, we're very excited, Mary Ellen mentioned about the website and all the work that's gone into it. I'm going to just talk about it for a few minutes to give you the overview of why we did what we did and how we're going to be moving forward with this. As Mary Ellen had mentioned, in terms of this, a website is a really important tool for us in terms of, it is in essence our public face. As opposed, you drive down the road, our building is our public face, but right today, a website is any college's public face. And so we realized it was time to come up with a very good, effective website that would be attractive to prospective students, as well as get the word out who we are in terms of just the community, in terms of our public officials, in terms of people who live nearby, in terms of building pride in who Three Rivers Community College is. One of the things, as Steve had mentioned, we're so thrilled that we have a minus 0.3% difference. In terms of some of the reasons why there was a projection of a minus 8% is, as some of you might know, is that the number of high school students is now on a downward trend. As you know, over the years, birth rate goes up, and so at some point the high school population goes up, and then birth rate goes down, and the high school population goes down. So at this point in time, we're on a downward trend. So all of the colleges in Connecticut are fighting for less students. And so it's not just that, there's a whole behind the scenes thing in terms of why there was an 8% projection. We're also coming out of our recession, during which time many, many people decided they lost their jobs, so they needed to be retrained or go back for education and get a degree. Well, now that the economy is getting better and there are more jobs, there's less need for people to do that. People who have been training now have jobs. So there was this double kind of whammy in terms of our decrease. So the amount of work that went into getting a minus 0.3% is really phenomenal in terms of where we're at. We feel that in terms of out there, who we can really approach, we know we have, there's a whole group of people who always come to Three Rivers. They understand what we do. We're really supported in many ways. So one of the things that one of the groups that we have decided to go after are the students at our local high schools in our region who are interested in four-year education and normally in the past have never considered community college. They want to go away, they want to go, whether they are at home and go to Eastern, commute, or go up to UConn or go to another school where they stay overnight. They live there. We feel that is a group we can target for multiple reasons. In particular, we have a good education here. We have all these programs that now are direct feed into the colleges, so they can take and come here for 2 years, get their credits, move on to another school. And it is very affordable. As part of our campaign right now, people are talking about free college or very extraordinarily affordable college and low student debt. Well, folks, as you all know, we already offer that. And we want to make sure people understand that. And so that, in essence, instead of ending up, if you have a student that goes to a private college, or even if you go to UConn, I'll just show you a very interesting graph that we have here. This is the additional cost of a bachelor's degree compared to transferring from Three Rivers. And so we have everything from saving $12,000 to over $67,000, depending on the school you go to, and even more in some other places. So students can come here for 2 years, pay at most $8,000 something a year, at most for 2 years. I know when I came here, I was thinking, I knew it was inexpensive, and when I said $4,000 to somebody, I stopped myself and said, that can't be right. That it's a little over $4,000 a year for tuition, but it is. So they can come here, and that's without any financial aid. We have students here through the Comcast program, through other programs with financial aid, that they have such a low level of student debt and no student debt. And Ed has talked about using taxes in a way that you could have no student debt using, through the tax. That people need to understand that this is a great way to get their children off to a good start, so they are not saddled with these horror stories of $100,000 in student debt, $60,000 in student debt. They can go here for 2 years and then move on to our other colleges, in-state, out-of-state, with only 2 years of that kind of debt. It's huge, it's really important. So this is part of the word, and this is one of the reasons maybe we're doing this website. So in terms of it, like I said, it's this outside website, three-rivers.edu, is our public face, and the main focus of it is to recruit prospective students on all levels, not just these four-year students. That's one of our market targets. But in regards to our workforce, people are coming in for just a few classes, people who are going to take 5 or 6 years to get a degree or a certificate because they're working full-time or working 2 and 3 jobs, but are still making the effort to get their education. So that's what this website is done. We spent a lot of time making it so it's easy to navigate, easy to find things, easy to get from here to there, and using some of these top things that are kind of similar to what other schools have, because as you know, you go to websites and there's a way you start looking for things. So it's an easy way to find the kinds of programs we have, it's an easy way to find how to apply, easy way to learn how to pay for it. There's our great student life that we have here, and then we have our life after Three Rivers, whether that is through careers, going on to a 4-year college, becoming an alumni, all of those kind of things. So it's all really important in terms of it. In thinking this way then, this is so that is this one site. And then we have our extranet, as you know. You've seen our, should pull it up, but you've seen our extranet. And in terms of that now, the extranet, one of the things that our old website have, our extranet now, and it's called extranet because eventually you'll be able to access this from home, not just on campus. That's why we're not calling it an intranet. As Kevin said, this is a new term, but it means that down the road, we're going to be able to access certain things from the committees, from various places that will be stored on the extranet that you can only now get to from when you're on campus. So the point of the extranet is to have all of that day-to-day paperwork, forms, and how-tos and processes that we need as faculty, as staff, and as current students, that would really kind of muck up the outside website, that they don't have to know all the details about every little aspect of pulling together your credits to be able to transfer to your college, or all of those different things. There's just lots. We found when we looked at the extranet, there are over 6,000 PDFs on it. There's a lot of stuff on there. So now the process is going to be, in terms of this, is to, little by little, we're going to be working over this texture on the extranet to make it more user-friendly for everybody here and our current students. So in terms of as this process goes along, Kevin and I are working hand in hand on both the website and the extranet. Our committee, as Mary Ellen said, was fabulous. We had a terrific committee that worked. We have many, many more people who then have been involved in regards to developing the new site, and now we're going to take and start continuing to improve the new website, and now continue to make the extranet more usable. So what can you do in terms of this? One of the things, please have patience. We know this is a little confusing right now in terms of the extranet versus the our new website. And of course, our current students would much rather have everything they need on our new website, but we're trying to set it up so that it can be working for both. So just a reminder, in this quick links up here, quick links has, right now it has 2 links that go to the same thing. For current students and for faculty, both goes to our extranet page. And so just remember, people are saying they can't find it. This is the easy way to get to it. It's up here, and it's down at the bottom here, in terms of if you go to here, quick links, you know, current students, faculty, and staff goes to our extranet. And there's even the comment here, as well as up here, all the quick links also go directly to my comment. So that's where that is. We're going to be working on this. And then what we ask for you too is, please, this is a living, breathing document, both of these are. As you look at the new website, you see something that's off, it doesn't work, there's a link that doesn't happen, there's language that's missing, something, let me know. You see something totally missing, you think a whole page needs to go on, let me know. We have over 20 people now that have been trained on how to make changes on the website, but major kinds of things like restructuring or whatever needs to have a discussion, because what we want to do is keep this clean and sleek and make sure that it's always aimed toward our prospective students and making it easy for them to find. But we want the input. Candidates input, we all, you know, in terms of this, it's really going to be a great tool in terms of this. So thank you so much, everybody, for all of your help. Thank you so much for your patience. We understand. We, every day, in doing it, as Marilyn said, 8 weeks, there's definitely more work that has to be done on all of this. That's the website. Then also, I just want to introduce Alexa Shelton. She is our new public relations associate. She and I are going to be a real team in developing the marketing plan, public relations, social media, all of that kind of stuff. So thanks very much. If you have any questions?
Well, that's the first part of the program. Now and I think we're going to keep going rather than a break. If you have to leave the room, we will